Beyond the yellow door is a skill challenge. A skill challenge requires good concentration. One example is for the Cellmaster to provide the students with a power generator and the number of cogs and spinning handles. The number of handles needed will depend upon how many students remain in the show. The students have to work together to put a number of cogs in the right places on the activator line. A couple of people will need to roll spark marbles down a few open-ended tubes and into a number of pipes to get the machinery going. One spark marble needs to land in each slot to get electricity flowing through the system. Only when the electric current is active and the activator cogs are in place may the activator handle be turned to operate the generator. Next, the students must go over to the generator and work together to put an electric reserve current into the generator for storage. The students may only turn their handles when it is lit. They will be notified when they are able to turn their handle when it glows. When they turn the handle in the glowing position, they put electricity in the generator. If they try to turn it when it's not lit, the energy is drained. The students are given a target amount of electric current to put into the generator. They must make at least this given amount. When everyone stops turning, the generator slowly drains itself. The generator is locked by one of the students pressing a button on the opposite end of the room. If they have reached the target, the generator flashes and locks. If not, an alarm is raised and the task is failed. If the time limit expires, the task is failed. The students must work together to do all this within 3 minutes. Beyond the green door lies a mental challenge. A mental challenge requires the students to work together with a puzzle or questions. In this example, the students could be provided with a number of amp rods. The students will have to lay these amp rods in a certain sequence so that the combination makes a target current input. The rods must be laid upon an experimenting table that looks like this. The white areas show the many positions that the amp rods can be placed in. The yellow dots have different currents locked into them. The idea of this challenge is for the Cellmaster to give a target current to the students, and within the course of 2 minutes, the students must work together to make this target current using all of the amp rods provided. If they are given 8 amp rods to make the current, they must use all 8 rods for the system to operate. This procedure applies to whatever number of amp rods is provided for the students during the challenge. When the students place the rods in the system in any order, an electric current reading will appear on the center panel. If the given target is reached, one of the challengers must push a confirmation button on the wall of the chamber, and this will stop the challenge. The Cellmaster is then called upon to check the given result. If he is happy with the result, the task is passed. If not, he tells the spy guard to show the students the answer to the puzzle. This is done by the spy guard using an encrypted key. The correct sequence will be shown to the students by certain areas of the table highlighting in red light. The 2 pictures I am about to show you will give you an example of the result that the cellmates have ended up with, showing the positions of the rods in yellow, the other showing the answer required within the areas in red. In this example, the students have failed the task. Their target was 24 volts, but the students only give 21.6 volts. We have already explained the basic types of challenges in the Cellmaster's complex, the mental and skill challenges. But the Cellmaster is much meaner than that. He has 2 tougher challenges for the cellmates, one of which is known as a pressure challenge. Just like a normal skill or mental challenge beyond the yellow and green doors, behind the blue door, one of these 2 types of challenges appear. The only difference is that the students have a smaller time limit. For example, if the students had 3 minutes in a skill challenge, they may only have 2 minutes in this one to complete something even harder. Beyond the violet door is an extreme challenge. An extreme challenge is the hardest challenge that the students will face in any day. It is a combination challenge between all three of the other types. The challenge will require both the abilities of skill and mental, and in the extreme challenge, it will also require physical ability. And the students are also under a pressure timer to complete the task. Once again, the timer decreases. This time, it could only be 90 seconds, or even 60 seconds. When each task is over, the students stand with the spy guard. The spy guard has a small talk with the students over the experience of the challenge before calling on the cell master for the result. Whether they pass or fail the task, the cell master asks each student in turn who they think was the weakest player, other than themselves. After everyone has made their thought over the weakest player, the cell master has the current weakest player in his record, but he does not tell them who it is, as it can change between challenges. After each challenge, the students are asked out of the challenge room and go back into the briefing, where after each task, they have 15 minutes to themselves under the surveillance of the spy guard before their next task is given. After all 4 tasks have been attempted, the spy guard has one last talk with the students before the guards behind the red door enter the room, ready to act on the cell master's final orders. The cell master then appears on the monitor opposite. He will remind the students of the results of each task. Then, he asks each student in turn who they think was the weakest person through the 4 challenges overall. This time, they are allowed a small explanation over whom and why they think he or she was the weakest. After this is done, the cell master will reveal to the student who was the weakest player. The player who is announced as the weakest player is the one who goes into the soul sucker cell. Upon the order of the cell master saying to that student, "You're guilty," the guards take that student through the forbidden red door and put him or her into the soul sucker cell, where the cell master has a final take with the prisoner over the experience of the show and why they were the weakest prisoner. After this, the cell master pulls a blue lever on his control panel. This will operate some blue lights in the cell to suck the soul out of the prisoner and add it to the computer system. Now this is very important. The soul sucking of the prisoner is not, and I mean not, a literal effect. The effect is applied to the camera, blurring densely and twisting when the blue lights are activated. After the show, the presenter is back down the corridor leading to the cell master's chamber, giving a rough review of the prisoner's fate. He also states how many prisoners remain. Off the camera, the spy guard gives a rough explanation of the next show, the closing titles are then shown, and the show is over. I got the inspirations for this show from various other TV shows. The ideas of challenges I got from the Crystal Maze, and the complex idea originated from Starfinder. I don't think many people have heard of it before though. I wanted to do this show as a reality show, as it is a popular category. But the things with this is that the students don't die. When their souls are sucked out, all the Cell Master is doing is flashing them with blue light. And this is the end of my explanation. The comments and ratings are open for those who want to say what they think about the project. Thank you very much.